sergers have a handful of stitches that you can do by altering the tensions. So next up is how to make a flat lock stitch on the Singer ProFinish Serger. So depending on which side I'll be sewing from, depending if I put my fabrics right sides together or wrong sides together, a flat lock when opened up flat will either look like this stitch or with decorative thread like this, or on the back, it will look like a ladder stitch. Now this particular one I used with some variegated thread. This is actually the needle thread, very, very loose. So we're going to take the tension and go to 0. So it will actually open up after we serge the edge. And yes, you can do it on 2 pieces of fabric. You could also do it right down the middle of a piece of fabric too. You wouldn't even have to cut off anything, just run the fabric right along the blade, and then all of a sudden you have stitches in the middle of fabric. Great way to add a hem to an item, whether it's a second piece of fabric, a piece of lace. It's meant to be a very delicate stitch and can be used to just apply an additional piece to another piece of fabric. So I'll be showing you both, but before I do, I'm going to show you one more sample of a flat lock. There it is. So it's kind of glistening. This is on a pillow that I did all tone on tone, black embroidery on black fabric. But on the edges, I'm always proud to kind of show this off because this is a flat lock showing with that needle thread, but there is a piece of ribbon that is woven through that particular edge and made it look very tuxedo-like. So let's go ahead and see what settings we change. I am a fan of doing a wide flat lock. It gives me a little bit more fudge room, let's say. So I am going to go ahead and loosen up the tension and take out the right needle. And like always, I always take off the spool of thread I am not using, as well as taking the needle out. And on this one, the right needle is indicated at the top by the letter A. If you do take your needles out, and it's been a while, maybe it's time to put some new needles in when we're all said and done. Next, it's all about how we adjust the tension. So we mentioned tension for the needle must be loosened to its smallest number. So let's take that all the way down till 1 or until it stops at the minus sign. And then we're going to take our lower looper and tighten it. Let's just start around 6 and see what the result is. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold this fabric wrong sides together. And I've also moved my knife in as close to the needle as possible, but I am going to still cut something off. By moving it in close, that means that there's less of the fabric that needs to kind of be left in that hinge once we open it up. Now this would be where you can have a little fun. You're going to notice that the pink thread is what we're going to see the most. So if you want decorative threads in there, go ahead and put it in the upper looper. Of course, if they're thicker, make sure you allow for a little bit of that thicker thread to go through those tensions. Maybe drop that tension down just a little bit. So here's the fun part, but before I open it, I want to show that our needle thread, the blue one, is super loose. And remember when we've talked about tensions not being good and it kind of smiles at you on this side? Well, that's actually what probably started a flat lock in the first place. Somebody realized that, that doesn't look good, but this does. So when you come over to this side, you are flattening by pulling the fabric until it lays completely flat. So then you can kind of just take your fingers, run it along there, and you can have some fun along that way. Now, when we flip it over, that's the needle thread that we talked about as well. Now, if you want this on the side that everybody's going to see, then you're going to start by, let's just do it here, we're going to start by taking our fabric, go right sides together, and then do a flat lock along here, and then when you open it up, you'll have the lines on the front side. Now, when you open it, peel it flat, and that is a finished seam. It has a decorative appearance, and it lays completely flat.